Okay, so today we are working on a 1995 Jeep Grand Cherokee Sport 4.0 liter automatic transmission, and this thing has a no start condition, which is not a good thing if you need to go somewhere. And it usually happens at the most inconvenient times, right? So basically what's going on here is we get in our car to go somewhere that we need to be at, right? And we go hit the key, turn it, and no start. We got a good battery, everything's working, but it just won't crank for us. We move our shift lever around to different positions, still no start. So what could it be? Well, there's a number of things it could be. It could be the ignition switch. It could be the neutral safety switch. It could be the starter. It could be the relay. It could be the wiring. And I'm sure there's a few other things I haven't thought about. So I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to diagnose this thing. Now, one of the first things you should do is scan the vehicle. And on these older vehicles, these older Jeeps, the OBD connector is right here underneath the dash next to the shifter. But this is not an OBD2 model. This is a 1995. It's pre-OBD2. So you have to have the old style scan tool to hook into this thing. This is for the transmission side. And you would use that to check like your neutral safety switch or anything else for that matter. Okay, and underneath the hood is another connector which is right here by the fender well, close to the vehicle computer, that one right there, and that is to check the engine side. So if you don't have the old style scan tool to check this thing, it can be a little difficult to diagnose. Okay, so I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to diagnose a no start condition on these older vehicles using the wire schematic. So I pulled up the starting circuit for this vehicle, and just to take you through it, there's your battery, and there's your fuses, and then you come down to your ignition switch, and then you go to your starter relay, and then from there you have your neutral safety switches, and of course you have your starter motor. So a good place to start on this vehicle is right in the center here at the relay. It's easy to get to, and once you identify these pins, 26, 27, 29, and 30, it's very easy to diagnose. So we're going to the relay now. This is a relay box, and we know that this is the starter relay because we looked on the lid, and we've seen that the starter is the one I just pointed out to you. So one of the quickest things you can do is all these relays are the same. So you can take the relay like for the AC that you're not using, and you can swap it with the starter relay and see if that fixes it. We already did that and it didn't fix it. So it still wouldn't start. So the next thing you do is you start testing the input circuits to the relay. You know the relay is good because you swapped it out, so you go right here and you need to identify, there's actually 5 slots there, but only 4 are being used. So once you identify these 4 ports, the 4 that are being used are right here, this one is vacant, then you can easily diagnose this thing. Okay, let's start with the one that goes to the starter. We want to verify that we have a good starter motor. So we know it's a brown wire and it hooks to a light green and black or brown wire. And that's this wire right here. Okay? And it plugs into this connector right here. So what I've done is I've disconnected it, and I'm going from the disconnector, which goes to the relay box, and I want to see which pin controls the starter wire. So I'm ohming them out now, and I know that when I go to this pin right here, I got a connection, which is the bottom one. The rest of the pins, they don't do anything. The bottom one. So I know that this is the starter wire. Now what I can do is I can actually throw voltage to this wire right now. This goes down to the starter. This comes off the relay. And I can throw voltage to this thing off the battery, which is right here, and the vehicle starts. I've already done that, so I know I've got a good starter. Takes that out of the equation. So circuit 29 going to the starter is good. So the next thing I want to do is see if I have power coming into the relay. Okay, so now what I've done is I'm going to ground my meter to my negative battery posts. And I'm going to go through each one of these and see which one has power. I know if I go to this one up here with the key on, I have 12 volts. The other ones are not doing anything. We know that this one's a starter wire, and we know this one's a power into the relay. Okay, this one right here does not have 12 volts. This one doesn't have it. This one only has 6 volts. This one has nothing, and this one has nothing. So we know we have 12 volts right here. So what that does is that verifies circuit number 27, and we know all of our fuses are good up here and our connection's good to the battery. So now we know circuit 27 is good, and we know circuit 29 is good, and we have a good starter. So now we just need to verify our ignition switch, which will be 26. 26 is either going to be this one or that one. So I'm going to go with this one now, okay? Okay, so now I'm tapped into the pin on the top, on the one I showed you, and when I hit the starter, when I go into the start mode right here, I have voltage there. You can see that, it's 12 volts. And when I release it, I have 0. So I'm going to go to the start position again. I have 12 volts. And when I release it, I have 0. Okay, so I'm on this pin right here when I did that test. So now I know that that is pin number 26. And what I just verified is that the ignition switch and all the connections going to it, voltage and everything, are good. So now I know pin 26 circuit is good, pin 27 with my voltage is good, and pin 29. And just to review, this was the voltage, this is the starter circuit, and this is the ignition circuit. So the only one left is this one, and this is the neutral safety switch right here. Okay, we're on the neutral safety switch terminal now, and you'll see it stays at 7 volts. And we're in park with the key on. And when we move this thing, this voltage should change. If we go to, for example, reverse, voltage should change. But you know what? It's staying at 7 volts. We go to neutral, 7 volts. If we go to drive, still 7 volts. I'm going to shift it back to park, no change. Okay, so looking at our wire diagram, if we look at our neutral safety switch, which is pin 30, which is this one right here, it's the one I just went to, we see that on these vehicles, whether you have a manual or an automatic transmission, that basically all the neutral safety switch does it with the clutch pedal here, or I'm sorry, clutch pedal here, or the automatic transmission. Actually, this wire diagram doesn't show a manual, but it shows an automatic. But basically, all it does is take that circuit, number 30, and put it to ground. That symbol right there, those are ground symbols. So you're just pulling circuit 30 to ground. And so basically what should happen is when you put that thing in park or neutral, you should see 12 volts there. Actually, I think I just said that wrong. You should see 0 volts because I'm on 7 right now. And if I go to ground, which is what it should do, which is right here, I should see 0 volts. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to become the neutral safety switch. I'm going to go ahead and bypass this terminal right here. I'm going to put this terminal to ground. That's what it says to do in the wire diagram. And if I do that and it starts up, I know I got a bad neutral safety switch. Okay, so now what I've done is I made my own ground to that terminal we just had to. I just put my wire, stuck it in the cavity, and I plugged my relay in, and I went to a battery ground. So basically I'm doing the job of the neutral safety switch. I'm pulling that circuit number 30 right here, get this thing to focus, to ground. Let's see if it starts. Okay, the moment of truth. We've got our neutral safety switch bypassed. Let's see what happens. Hey, guess what? It started. It's amazing. It's a good day in the automotive repair world. So, using a wire diagram is your roadmap to troubleshooting. And once you identify your relay terminals, you can easily verify your ignition switch, your starter, your neutral safety switch, your fuses, your battery, all that stuff. So in this case, we're going to recommend a neutral safety switch and keep this guy trucking down the road. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and have a great day.